Bend, Indiana's the defending national champion Notre Dame Fighting Irish take on the surprising Seminoles of Florida State, currently ranked at number 24. There you see the records. Let's look at some more numbers. The current standings in the ACC down to North Carolina are currently, unofficially, in the field of 64. Hi, everybody. Welcome inside Purcell Pavilion with Kara Lawson. I'm Paul Sunderland. Notre Dame is 21-3, but we saw something on that graphic that has never been there before. 6 years ago, Notre Dame joined the ACC. They have never lost 2 games in conference. They've done that now. Cause for some concern.
I think it is cause for some concern. They've lost those 2 games in the last 2 weeks, Paul, and when you look at this Notre Dame team, they have tons of experience, but they've hit a little bit of lull in their schedule. And who better to help them break out of their lull than Arike Ogunbowale, who's been an All-American this season for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. She's somebody that has a multifaceted approach to her game. That's what I love about what she brings to the table. And listen, we've seen these highlights on a loop since last April. Fearlessness, that's what she brings. The winner against UConn in the semifinal. And of course, for the granddaddy of them all, the national championship, the shot to beat Mississippi State. I love her speed and transition. She's like a freight train rolling down the tracks, hard to get in front. But what I also love about Arike is her improved vision this year. Her assists are up. She is playmaking for her teammates at a higher level than I saw a season ago from her, and that certainly helps. You look at the improvement in assists, 1 per game, also the improvement in efficiency, but she has to be the player that helps shake Notre Dame out of these little doldrums.
By the time she finishes her career, she will be the leading scorer all time in South Bend. And Kaya Gillespie, the number 5 scorer in the ACC, can she lead this young lineup for Florida State to a win here on the road?
She's brought stability to this team. She's an upperclassman. She sat out last season, a transfer from Maryland. She has to be effective in the paint tonight.
Jessica Shepard right off the opening tip, showing some of her wonderful footwork and versatility, and that was a very, very quick start. Florida State coming off a win at home over number 9 North Carolina State on Thursday night, 75-70. Only turned it over 8 times inside and answering at the other end. Valencia Myers, 6'3" freshman out of Ohio. What's at stake at this one? For Florida State, they have never beaten Notre Dame. For the Fighting Irish, currently ranked number 4, 55 straight conference wins, 45 of those coming in the ACC. Turner down inside through traffic. Offensive rebound not there. Notre Dame's...
Already you see Gillespie's importance. I mean, Notre Dame, first 2 possessions, of course, one was a layup off transition, but utilizing the strength of the paint. Yeah, that's an offensive foul. It's a nice job by Turner to stand in there and take the contact.
Easy play to call. Valencia Myers picking up her first personal foul. Notre Dame's lineup, every one of those young women, Mabry, Young, Ogunbowale, Turner, and Shepard, have all scored over 1,000 points, and 2 of them more than 2,000 points. Ogunbowale, who's been in a little bit of a shooting slump, opens things up with a soft touch for number 24 in white. Notre Dame sitting back in their zone. That rattles in and out. A nice rebound taken by Jackie Young. Mabry, absolutely a pure shooter. Can't give number 3 in white any room, and the quick lead for Notre Dame, 7-2. Starting lineup for Florida State coming in at 20-3. Naja Woolfolk had 20 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists in their win the other night. Ikamu, and rattles that one down. Boy, going coast to coast, another tough make for Ogunbowale.
Well, that's what we talked about, the speed and transition. I mean, Ogunbowale gets the ball, and she is trying to get to the rim. She'll seek some contact. She'll use her strong frame to get to the basket and still finish.
Opening jump shot off the front of the iron by Gillespie, the 6'2" junior out of Meriden, Connecticut. Turner on the trail. Unselfish play inside. Second basket for Jessica Shepard.
Now, this is a side of the floor that Notre Dame needs to improve on. I mean, this is the side of the floor defensively that they need to continue to grow and they can continue to work. It's a heck of a pass. I talked about the improved vision. You see it right there, a manifestation of that. Enrique in transition and a beautiful find to Shepard.
Shepard quickly with a half a dozen. A very, very nice catch running coast to coast. See a little sense of urgency from Notre Dame at the start?
I think you have a team, Paul. They're an interesting case study because you have a team that returns every significant piece. They add Turner. They have so much experience. You talked about the numbers that they have in terms of the 1,000 points and 2,000 and 1,000 rebounds, all of those things as we take a look at Enrique in transition. And the challenge is this. The challenge is you've got a team that won a national championship a season ago, and they've accomplished almost everything that you can accomplish. And now you come back this season, and what is there to play for before March? And someone sitting at home could say, well, there's a lot to play for. There's an ACC champ. There's all those things.
Yep.
But, you know, I kind of liken it to sometimes teams, veteran teams in the NBA. Say the Golden State Warriors from a season ago.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Right?
Yep, yep.
I mean, they know that you have to play and they know that you have to put together good performances and you have to improve, but they're really waiting for March. And, of course, Muff McGraw and the coaching staff, they're not thrilled. They're not thrilled about that. But there is a piece about that with this team, which they've got to start to turn things up now that we're getting later in the season.
Jackie Young picks up her first personal foul, and Nikki Akamu will go to the free throw line. There is Sue Semrau in her 22nd season, 26-7 last year. They're always right there in the ACC, top 4 year after year, and 4 times ACC Coach of the Year.
I think that's something, you know, to get back to our conversation, it's just, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to do that. That's why when you look at programs across the country, Notre Dame is one of them. They're able to sustain this high level of accomplishment. It should be applauded because it's very difficult to do year in and year out.
After the free throws made by Florida State, Notre Dame with a 15-10 advantage. Shepard's got a beautiful stroke off the front of the iron, not there, and the rebound taken by Gillespie. Big for Florida State. Valencia Myers, their 6'3" freshman center, has already picked up a couple of fouls and had to go to the sideline. Step back jumper by Gillespie is good. A really smooth looking player.
Yeah, she is. She's come into her own this year. And again, that year that she sat out, Sue Semrau talked to us about it before the game, really helped her understand how to be a better leader and how to come in and be somebody that's consistent night in and night out.
Mabry on the curl, knocks that shot down. Both Ogumbuali and Mabry struggled in the loss at Miami. They were just 3 for 13 from outside the arc.
Well, that's a challenge for Notre Dame. I mean, they're playing very well right now on the offensive end of the floor. I mean, they're hitting shots. At times this year when they haven't hit shots, how do they still find ways to win games? And I think that's probably my biggest question about Notre Dame as we move forward and in the ACC schedule and into conference tournament and NCAA tournament play. If there comes a point in tournament play, in the postseason, when it's one and done and they don't hit shots, do they still have the ability to win games? And I don't have a firm yes to that yet.
A little bit of a high-low and a traveling violation, and the turnover is going to be called against Florida State. Speaking of a hot start for Notre Dame, already 7 of 10 from the floor. Florida State 4 of 7. Ogumbuali on the curl, 15 feet straight away, and rattles it home. So much for a shooting slump.
Yeah. I don't know what you do about that. I mean, she's flying from the corner off a beautiful handoff from Jackie Young.
Step through traffic, not there, Young, and look at the run out of Ogumbuali, showing that speed you talked about. Beautiful shovel path. Shepard not there. And Gillespie coming quickly out of the backcourt. Notre Dame still leading it by 7. Nice pass. Open underneath, but unable to knock that shot down is Wilkinson, just on the floor, number 31 in black. Ogunbowale really feeling it. Nine quick points for Arika Ogunbowale. She averages 21 per game on the year, best in the ACC. Shot clock at 9. Gillespie trying to answer and does with a 3 of her own. Gillespie averaging 17 points per game to go along with 9 rebounds and a pretty efficient and smooth shooter from outside the arc.
She's keeping Florida State in it.
Absolutely. Plays for Ogunbowale. Why not? She's as hot as can be. Shepard with the offensive rebound. Fumbled, and Florida State will come away with a loose ball. Florida State currently 24th in the country in the rankings, 8-2 in conference. Really surprising results for this young team. They lost all 5 starters from last year. Prohaska with a good block out. And here comes Notre Dame again. Young working inside. Wow, tough make through contact and traffic.
It sure was. And again, Notre Dame in transition. It's been one of the strongest parts of their game this season. And they are wreaking havoc in transition this afternoon.
Young will take it all the way, lays it up off the side of the iron. Ikamu coming the other way. Boy, very few whistles. Notre Dame spent a lot of time yesterday at the direction of head coach Muffet McGraw working at the defensive end. Kick ahead to Mabry. Sets her feet. A look there off the front of the iron. Long three-pointer on the way and buried by Naja Woolfolk.
You've got to credit Florida State here.
Absolutely.
Because they have taken a couple punches here in the early going. And they have remained calm. They've stayed true to what they do, and they've taken quality shots.
Well, we talked to head coach Sue Samrau about what a better leader Gillespie has come as her career has gone on, and she really showed that. Shepard's just too much inside, particularly with the starting center for Florida State now with a couple of fouls and on the sideline. Gillespie again off the front of the iron. No, nice rebound by Shepard, snaps the outlet. Ogunbowale looked like she got fouled on the crossover, and the rebound will be taken by Florida State, and back and forth we go.
Here we go. By the way, players love this type of game.
Absolutely.
This is the best kind of game. Up and down, no whistles.
Big hole in the middle of the zone, and Florida State and Gillespie taking advantage. She now has 7 for the visiting Seminoles. Ogunbowale again, crossover, step back off the front of the iron, no, and plenty of time for a good shot. And why wait? Off the front of the iron, good play by Gillespie, running coast to coast to follow that up, and an absolutely right, Carol Lawson. Florida State has taken some big punches, and here they are trailing by only 4. Shepard, step back jumper from 15 feet. Boy, both teams as hot as can be, and what a pace. What an enjoyable first quarter, except for maybe our advertisers.
Arika Ogunbowale leading the way. No surprise for the Irish.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Much more women's top-flight college basketball coming your way after Notre Dame and Florida State. Tennessee at number 6 Mississippi State. Tennessee, after losing 6 in a row, has now won 3 straight. Number 3 Oregon, one of the highest scoring team in the country, visiting the Stanford Cardinal. And then tomorrow, number 12 South Carolina takes on UConn. That is at 7 Eastern time on ESPN2. Back with Kara Lawson, I'm Paul Sunderland. Very good start, particularly for Notre Dame. Arike Ogunbowale with 9, and if you've noticed, a lot of pink in the building today here at the Purcell Pavilion at the Joyce Center. That is the annual Pink Zone game to raise funds to combat breast cancer. 15% of those funds go to the Kay Yow Foundation, the other 85% to local medical facilities here in the South Bend area. As number 12, Abby Prohaska, the 5'10 freshman out of Liberty Township, Ohio, getting the start here in the second quarter. And Muffet McGraw told us both that she needed to use her bench a lot more. What was behind that thought process?
Well, she's not happy with their consistency on the defensive end of the floor, and she talked about if they're not playing the way that we need to defensively, then we need to get someone in there that's going to. And the freshman, it's a challenge though, because you're always toggling between giving them opportunities, but you don't want to put them out there and they make mistakes and they're not ready to play. And so Nixon and Prohaska have a responsibility to continue to grow and get better and compete. And if they do that, I think they will see a little bit more playing time here down the stretch.
Woolfolk with the miss and a battle for the offensive rebound down inside. Myers of Florida State now on the possession arrow. The ball will stay with Florida State. Jordan Nixon out of New York City, the other freshman you mentioned on the floor, wearing number 0 in white out there with Prohaska.
And think about it. You're a Notre Dame team that has 4 seniors and a junior in your starting lineup. You're going to give them the benefit of the doubt a lot of the time in terms of playing time, because they've been through the wars. They understand what it takes to win the national championship.
Kamu has that ball stripped away by Nixon, but a personal foul will be called and free throws coming. It was interesting speaking with Coach McGraw at practice yesterday. She said, look, I want to use my bench more, but they have to take the responsibility when we're looking at Nixon of playing better basketball, so I'm comfortable going to them. First free throw is up and good. Want to remind everybody we've got a big Monday doubleheader for you. First at 7 Eastern. Number 3 Virginia travels to Chapel Hill to take on number 8 North Carolina. The Tar Heels are really hot. Then number 13 Kansas takes on TCU. Both games are live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Virginia coming off the loss to Duke, and North Carolina, mentioned that, 7 straight wins. Prohaska wide open from straight away, rims that in and out.
I like the opportunistic trap by Florida State, try and speed Notre Dame up. It's something Notre Dame has seen a lot of. They've seen teams try to pressure them, particularly their ball handlers, and they've also seen a steady diet of teams packing the paint, forcing them to shoot the outside shot.
Woolfolk might have gotten away with a travel attack of the rim, and that ball blocked out of bounds by one of the game's best, Brianna Turner, in terms of rejections. Turner back in the lineup this year after suffering an ACL tear in the first round of the NCAA tournament, a game that I was calling, and she was all by herself running out on the break and just landed awkwardly and has come back to 100% form for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and a really good shot blocker at 2.6 per game. Shepard back on. Long three-pointer. There were 4 seconds left on the shot clock, but Gillespie from Steph Curry range, pull-up jump shot not there. Good block out by Gillespie working on Shepard. Pull-up jump shot in traffic not there. Rebound taken by Turner. Quick outlet. Boy, is anybody faster than Ogunbowale in the country with a basketball? Timeout called by Florida State.
the timing. She just waits for the perfect window. I mean, that is a small window to fire that through to her backcourt mate, Mabry.
Back in South Bend, and Nixon, after the pass from Mabry, is knocked to the floor. And Notre Dame getting lots of run-out opportunities, and that's something that Sue Samrow told me at practice yesterday she did not want. She wanted to get the Fighting Irish into 5-on-5 basketball, and that hadn't happened. They're the #1 seeds currently. Baylor. Charlie Cream has them in Chicago, Louisville, Oregon, UConn, and Notre Dame is currently following their loss at Miami down on the #2 line. Mississippi State there as well. What do you think of that mix, and more importantly, the geography?
I think when you look at these 1s and 2 seeds, obviously it's a fluid situation, and we have so many more matchups that are going to occur, right? Louisville and Notre Dame could potentially play in the ACC championship. You look at Stanford and Oregon, who are playing later today on our air at 4 p.m. on ESPN2. So there's a lot to be determined. I'm not one that gets too crazy about geographical locations, at least in February.
Nice answer by Woolfolk, ends a 0 for 6 shooting start for Florida State.
We know where Notre Dame would like to be there.
Chicago.
They'd like to be in Chicago.
Absolutely. Their fans would like them to be in Chicago as well. 7 minutes remaining in the half. Notre Dame led it with hot shooting by Shepard and Ogunbowale, 28-22 after 1. And then again, Florida State got off to a slow start, and Woolfolk picks up the personal foul, her first. Notre Dame 21-3 overall. A couple of losses in conference play at North Carolina, and most recently to Miami, and previously to that to UConn here at the Purcell Pavilion. Woolfolk attacking. Nice make over Turner and up off the window. Ogunbowale turning on the Jets and was fouled from behind. That foul is going to be on Lassiter, her first. And after very few whistles in the opening quarter, Florida State now with 3 team fouls.
They put her in that left corner. And if you see her on that left corner as a defender, you better get ready, because she's going to sprint up from that left corner for some type of DHO, handoff, whatever it is. And she's going to, at full speed, get the basketball and then try and push it down your throat in the paint. And it's really easy on film to say, hey, we're going to do this, and you're going to go here, and you're going to keep her from getting the handoff. You're going to blow it up. And then you get in the game, and it's just much more difficult than a game plan perspective, I think, to try and defend her when she's going at full speed.
Ogunbowale now with 11 to lead the Fighting Irish. Shepard has 12. Ogunbowale was spectacular throughout the course of last year's NCAA tournament, not only in the semifinals and finals with her dramatic buzzer-beating shots, but averaged over 24 points per game throughout the tournament. Shot clock at 8. Nice move up and in once again for Nikki Akamu, the 5'9" junior out of Bolingbrook, Illinois. Florida State once again takes punches but comes right back. Mabry, change of tempo, beautiful little left-handed pocket pass.
Yeah, that's nice, and Shepard's given them tremendous production in the paint. And that's something that worried Sue Samrow about this matchup, was just the production in the paint for Notre Dame. And that has come to fruition here in the first half. They've made a living getting 2 feet in the paint.
Shepard 7 of 10 from the floor, now 14 points on the held ball. The possession arrow will go to Notre Dame with 5 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the first half.
The guards being aggressive and just finding those tight alleys that you can get the ball to Shepard, who's always in the right position, ready to catch the basketball and get it up quickly.
Notre Dame has 10 assists on 16 of their made baskets. That ball tipped away and stolen by Camus. Working on Young. Tries to draw some contact and does. Wow. Nice, smart play offensively. And Jackie Young tried to just put her hands in her pockets and avoid the contact.
We've seen the last couple possessions of Florida State's pressure, defensive pressure, impacting Notre Dame and their rhythm. We've seen that at times this year. Notre Dame be impacted with pressure on their perimeter players to get into their offense, to be able to make an entry pass. And just did a nice job there denying the ball one pass away and getting out in transition.
Camus good on the three-point play, had 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in their win over North Carolina State, coming back with a huge first half, now with 15. Ogunbowale bottoms out the three. Nice lob pass down inside, dropped momentarily by Myers. Ball is stolen away by Notre Dame. Ogunbowale with numbers. Nice pass and catch laid up off the side of the iron. Shepard again knocked to the floor. Crowd wanted a foul. Ogunbowale's feeling it. Lassiter lost the handle. Here comes Ogunbowale and Notre Dame again, and the foul committed at midcourt. That's going to be ruled unnecessary contact. Ogunbowale now with 17.
Just an incredible stretch from Ogunbowale. And it's not just the three-pointers. It's the steal, the deflections on the defensive end of the floor. She's had a couple steals in the last few possessions. And it should have been an intentional foul. And I know a lot of that was born out of frustration. We talked about Florida State handling the punches that Notre Dame had thrown at them. And I thought they lost their composure a little bit in the last 3 possessions. Not making a play on the basketball at all there if you're Gillespie. And it's frustrating because there's 2 possessions when Ogunbowale hits those threes where Florida State played pretty good defense. Okay? They play pretty good defense, and she's that good.
First technical free throw is up and good. Ogunbowale adding to her total. Currently 3rd all-time in scoring. Came into this contest with 2,274 points. Trying to chase down Skylar Diggins-Smith with 2,357. And the way this first half has gone, she's going to get there pretty quickly.
Yeah, she's going to get there. I mean, 19 points, you're right. An incredible performance. And we started the show talking about how Notre Dame had lost 2 games in the last 2 weeks. No longer sitting atop the ACC standings. And that Arike would have to come today ready to play and ready to produce. And she certainly has done that through the first half.
Ball caught down inside and missed by Michaela Vaughn, number 30 in white. 6'3" sophomore just on the floor for Notre Dame. Camus has kept Florida State currently ranked at 24 in this game. 15 first half points. Gillespie was very hot early with 9, but has not scored here in the second quarter. Shot clock at 7. Lassiter open from the corner. No, Ogunbowale there for the long rebound. Look at this, just running past defenders. That ball up inside, missed. Offensive rebound taken by Vaughn. Shepard is there, Prohaska is there, and Gillespie looking for somewhere to go.
Oh, Vaughn is hurt. She's down at the other end.
Oh, Vaughn is going down. In the scrum, just Michaela Vaughn, who just came in the game, playing up front with Jessica Shepard, battling for that offensive rebound. This was a real scrum down inside. And there you see the right elbow of her teammate Jessica Shepard coming down across the bridge of the nose, creating the contact. You could see she was very shaken. That was
she had to sit back down. She tried to get up, and then she had to sit back down.
Yeah. And she'll be taken to the locker room with 2:57 remaining here in the opening half. Notre Dame leading at 47-33. And clearly will be put through the concussion protocol. That was a tough shot. Morgan Jones, the 6'2" freshman out of Jonesboro, Georgia, will go to the free throw line. Ogunbowale really feeling it off the side of the iron. Tip, no. Prohaska with the offensive rebound and nobody there. Everything going Notre Dame's way right now, 49-33. A 10-0 run for the Fighting Irish. Woolfolk, long three-pointer. Stems the tide momentarily. Nice look down inside. Jessica Shepard again, perfect pass and another assist from Ogunbowale. Deep post position and the kick out, a turnover against Florida State. That is their 10th turnover. Something that Sue Semrau knew that her team could not do against a club the quality of Notre Dame, especially here at home, where they have won 45 straight in the ACC. Pressure of the guards forces a rare turnover from Notre Dame, and now Gillespie looking to take it right at Turner, has that shot rejected. Turner on the break to Ogunbowale, back inside to Turner, and a holding foul is going to be called, and now we will shoot free throws. Thought we were going to shoot him at the other end for Florida State. Second personal foul called on Naja Woolfolk.
Shooting two, the Fighting Irish, number 11, Brianna Turner.
Brianna Turner, 6'3" graduate student out of Pearl in Texas, averaging 13 points and 8 rebounds, coming back from injury. ESPN and the ACC will bring you the ACC Network in August. 15 universities, one network. Visit getaccn.com to learn more. 16-point advantage for number 4 Notre Dame. Shot clock at 8. Ikamu off the back of the iron, and Notre Dame is just dominating the defensive board. Shepard looking inside, and the errant pass will be taken by Florida State. Just the 4th turnover for Notre Dame. Shot clock and game clock separated by about 5 seconds. Only 4 seconds left on the shot clock. It'll be free throws coming. A hard landing that time for number 12 in black, Nikki Ikamu.
Foul picked up by number 0, Jordan Nixon of Notre Dame, her second, team's third of the quarter.
Jordan Nixon picked up her second personal foul. Notre Dame shooting 56% from the floor, 4 of 5 from three-point range. And Florida State has really cooled off after a pretty blistering opening quarter where they trailed by only 6, thanks to Kaya Gillespie.
Oh, what's that? personal run by Enrique Gumbuale. She hit those couple threes. It kind of broke it open, right? It was, I thought Florida State had weathered a couple different storms, and then Enrique Gumbuale just hit those 2 threes, got to the free throw line, and the separation, the double-digit separation was there. I mean, this first half is a great illustration of Enrique Gumbuale on the offensive end at her peak powers in terms of the transition game, knocking down the threes, getting to the line. She's just played a terrific game on the offensive end.
That was a familiar shot out of the deep right corner with a little different result, but what a magnificent opening half for Enrique Gumbuale. 19 points, 6 of 11 from the floor, perfect 3 for 3 from outside the arc. It's halftime here in South Bend as Notre Dame leads Florida State 52-38. Let's send it back to the studio with John, Debbie, and Andy. Welcome back once again to South Bend, Indiana, the defending national champion. Notre Dame Fighting Irish on top of Florida State, currently ranked at number 24, 52-38. Back with my partner, Kara Lawson. I'm Paul Sunderland, and we saw really good Notre Dame in that second quarter, particularly Enrique Gumbuale, just running in waves, 10-0 run to take the advantage over Florida State.
Well, she did what you expect your National Player of the Year candidate to do. She took over for that stretch to create the separation that Notre Dame needed to go into halftime with that comfortable lead. Knocking down the three-point shot in the first half, creating opportunities for her teammates. She's just a tough player to get a hold on because in transition she can hurt you. She's become a really good passer, had 3 assists in that first half, and then has the great sense of timing of when to take over during a stretch of the game. I thought she did that, and it's a heck of a first half for Enrique, 19 points.
Came in struggling a little bit from outside the arc, just 4 for 21 her last 4 games from three-point range, but perfect so far. 3 for 3 so far in the opening half.
Did I tie it in?
Nice look down inside. That shot rejected once again by Notre Dame's Brianna Turner. Notre Dame has won 45 straight ACC games here at home, 55 straight conference games. If you go back to the days of the Big East, there is Muffet McGraw, and what a career and what a program she has built here in her 32nd year. Now 909 wins. She stands alone 7th all time. Ikamu was absolutely superb in the opening half. Nice look inside to Myers. Maybe a double dribble there. Needs a bounce and gets it. Formula for Florida State to get back in this after giving up a big run to Notre Dame in the second.
I think they just got to limit turnovers, not allow Notre Dame to get those 4-on-3s, 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s in transition that they enjoyed, particularly off of those turnovers, and stay calm with what they're doing. When they executed in the first half, Paul, they looked terrific. They got the shots that they wanted. And when you're a team going up against Notre Dame this season, you're going to be able to score points because they haven't shown the ability to defend consistently. And, you know, I think Florida State has enough weapons to be able to come back in this one, but they're going to have to take care of the basketball and try their best to limit Notre Dame's transition opportunities.
Ikamu picked up her second personal foul. Young to the free throw line, good on the first. 10 turnovers for Florida State in the opening half.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done, right? 10 double-digit turnovers on the road against an elite team.
Turned it over only 8 times when they beat number 9 North Carolina State on Thursday night. Turnaround jump shot not there. Rebound taken by Shepard. Speaking of Thursday, she had a double-double. Here goes Gumbuale. Another perfect pass laid up and in by Young. Step back jump shot by Gillespie, not there. Mentioned that Shepard had a double-double, 17 points, 17 rebounds in the loss at Miami on Thursday night.
Does a nice job avoiding the charge on that play.
What position is she going to play in the WNBA and professionally overseas? Anywhere she wants?
She's a wing. I mean, I don't think, although she can pass, she's not a point guard. Okay, she's a wing, and her best attribute is her ability to score. So she'll play on the wing, probably more of a shooting guard than a small forward. But if you can score and you can create off of ball screen action and you can get to the rim, then you're going to have some success at the next level.
Off the turnover, the shot missed wide by Woolfolk and deflected out of bounds. All 5 starters, 4 of them seniors, projected to be picked in the WNBA draft. Florida State in that 4-team logjam in the ACC, which includes Notre Dame. Both teams at 8-2 in the conference. Rebound taken again by Shepard. Long outlet to Mabry. Little stop and pop from 3-point range. Oh, bodies flying everywhere. Teams battling for the rebound, and it looked like Ikamo and Woolfolk got tangled up and both going down. 7:26 remaining in the third. Notre Dame leading it by 16. Myers trying to get inside on Turner, has that shot blocked again. That's at least 3 rejections for Brianna Turner. Here comes Agunbowale. Pass to Young and giving it up, making the extra pass to Shepard, and this one's starting to get out of hand.
I talked about turnovers and those jump starting the transition opportunities for Notre Dame, but Paul, bad shots that you shouldn't take, those are as good as turnovers when it goes to starting Notre Dame's fast break. One-on-one in the post, it's going to be really hard to score against Turner. I mean, she has shown the ability one-on-one to just stifle offensive players. Great look.
And again, Shepard with a miss. Offensive rebound taken. Agunbowale for 3 again. Timeout, Florida State. Notre Dame making the extra pass.
Number 12, South Carolina. Number 5, UConn. Oh my. Monday at 7 on ESPN2.
Number 12, South Carolina takes on number 5, UConn at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. And there'll be some special coverage in that one. Instead of an unbiased broadcast with analysis, thoughts, etc., we're going to ask Sue Bird and Asia Wilson to be total homers. Talk smack and have some fun. Eric Freed will be the moderator. And also Monday at halftime, the selection committee will reveal the top 16 for the first time. Back to this one as we approach the 6-minute mark here in the third. Gillespie tries to answer Turner with the easy rebound, in Notre Dame leading it comfortably now by 21. Agunbowale, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a couple of steals.
She could have a lot more assists than she has. There's been quite a few missed layups on her passes in transition.
Notre Dame on an 11-0 run. It was 39-33 in the second quarter when the Fighting Irish went on a 10-0 run to blow this one open. Pass into the corner to Lassiter, not there. Nice offensive rebound taken by Morgan Jones. Florida State staying patient into the middle of the zone, off the front of the iron. Agunbowale with another rebound. Shepard with deep post position, laying it up and in. Shepard now with 20 in the game. Gillespie at the front of the rim, still not there, and there's a lid on it for Florida State. Kara, after they started out pretty comfortably trying to answer, and Agumbawale at the other end.
Yeah, that's 1 for 12 to start the third quarter. Cold start to the second quarter as well. They started 0 for 6, and it's really doomed them in this one, because when you're down 14 points at the half, you can't really afford to start 1 for 12. Now the lead becomes insurmountable. And credit Notre Dame for being able to go on a type of game-deciding run like this to end the second and then to start the third.
Mabry thought about it instead to Shepard, gets her own miss to the other side up into the bottom of the board. Jessica Shepard is really an interesting story. Number 32 in white for Notre Dame, 2 years at Nebraska, a 2,000-point scorer when you combine her numbers here at Notre Dame. I talked to her yesterday. What a transition she has made, taken tremendous discipline. Dropped 40 pounds since she was at a USA training camp, along with Arike Agumbawale in September. Really a big adjustment and a wonderful improvement for Jessica Shepard, having a big senior year. The great Ruth Riley, who led Notre Dame to their first ever national championship back in 2001, is appropriately so going to be named a Hall of Famer in the 2019 class. She was the 2001 Naismith Player of the Year and led the Fighting Irish to the championship.
Oh, what a terrific player Ruth Riley was. Part of that national championship team in 2001. Along with assistant coach Niele Ivey, and rightfully so, going to be inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame this summer. And just, I mean, you want to talk about someone that checked all the boxes. Ruth Riley checked all the boxes in her career.
2,000-point score, 1,000 rebounds as well. That ball deflected, and Woolfolk coming out of the backcourt and is able to lay that up and in. Mentioning Jessica Shepard, when I talked to her yesterday, she said about the loss of weight. What is the one thing, when she looked at all of those spectacular players, can I take control of and improve myself and my game the most? And she decided that it was that. What discipline to lose that amount of weight over just a short period of time again since September, as she picks up the personal foul. It'll be free throws coming down inside for Valencia Myers. That is just the first personal foul on Shepard, who's averaging 15 points and 10 rebounds so far on the year. Myers got in early foul trouble. This free throw up and good. We've got a Super Tuesday doubleheader for you. First at 7 Eastern, number 5 Kentucky host number 21 LSU. Then Zion RJ and number 2 Duke travel to Louisville to take on the Cardinals. Both games are live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. LSU's been a really good story. Kentucky as hot as can be. And what about Duke? What can you say about Duke? Except they are really good, and they're going to be there at the end.
A tremendous win for them, going to Charlottesville last night and beating Virginia.
Danielle Patterson on the floor now, off the back of the iron. Agumbawale is really feeling it and got a low 5 going back up the floor from Coach Muffet McGraw. Nice steal by Shepard, has that ball deflected out. It'll be a turnover to Florida State with 2:27 remaining in the third.
She doesn't need much time and space. We saw her hit a similar shot in the first half from the corner and knocking down the three-point shot. She's having a heck of an afternoon, that's for sure.
Has 27, 9 of 14 shooting overall, 5 for 5 from outside the arc. A perfect 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Missed her first triple and thought it was in. She shook her head and thought that one was down for sure when it left her hand. Notre Dame leading at 70-44. Agumbawale goes to the sideline. Prohaska comes back on. Shepard, strong move, has the shot rejected down inside and deflected out of bounds. It'll be Florida State basketball. Muffet McGraw cannot believe there wasn't a foul called somewhere through all of that. Neither can Jessica Shepard. What do you see for Notre Dame the rest of the way? Obviously, they're looking forward to the ACC tournament. When I spoke with Coach McGraw yesterday, she said, look, we've still got North Carolina State and we have to go to Syracuse. So still plenty of work to do, plenty of games that will challenge Notre Dame.
I think they've got to continue to grow their depth. And, you know, this is an experienced team. They're very comfortable with the 5 starters. But in one-game scenarios, you just never know in terms of foul trouble, in terms of someone just having an off shooting night. I think you've got to have a little bit of comfort level bringing somebody off your bench that can maybe help you in a 3-minute stretch. I mean, something small. And you look at the different players. I mean, certainly Vaughn, who hopefully she's okay, got hurt earlier in the game. Prohaska and Nixon as freshmen. You know, one of those players I think you'd be looking to step to the forefront to say, hey, okay, I'm somebody that you can count on for 10, 12 minutes a night in a big game.
And to your point, when you look at Notre Dame's losses, and there haven't been very many throughout the years, but this year when you look at 21-3 are the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and you look at their shooting numbers against North Carolina, against UConn, and then most recently against Miami on Thursday night. You know, some of their stars, some of their real shot makers like Ogunbowale and Mabry were off the mark on that particular night.
Yeah, for sure.
The officials are going to the monitor to check for an unsportsmanlike foul. It's been an all Notre Dame. Florida State tried to answer an early run by Ogunbowale and Shepard. Trailed 28-22. The lead got to 14 at half. And then again, as you pointed out, Kara, just super cold shooting and good defense from Notre Dame held Florida State down as they missed their first 12 shots here in the third.
We talked about Arike Ogunbowale and how she's climbing up the scoring charts here at Notre Dame, and it's got some pretty big-time players in her sights, one of which is one of her assistant coaches, Beth Morgan Cunningham, who played here, was a part of Notre Dame's Final Four team in '97. And then the all-time scoring leader for the Irish, Skylar Diggins. And Arike Ogunbowale keeps on hunting them down. I mean, she's getting closer and closer.
Had 2,274 coming in, and then you add to her total 27. So now she's got 2,301. Morgan, who you mentioned, 2,322, and Skylar Diggins, they're waiting in the top spot. Danielle Patterson on the floor now for Notre Dame, wearing number 33 in white once again on this pink zone game held annually for Notre Dame. Here are the top three.
Some terrific guards, some of the best guards in Notre Dame history. And you can be sure that Arike Ogunbowale's jersey's going to be in.
Absolutely.
In the Ring of Honor when she's finished.
And she's at the scores table. There she is right now. God, I had my math right. I can't believe that. On the fly, 2,301 points. And the top two in her sights as she comes back on, currently with 27.
A tremendous career that she's had.
Who do you put among the group of top wings in the country? Obviously, she might lead that class.
There's a lot of good players.
Yes.
I mean, just in the ACC alone. I mean, you think about Asia Durr and Arike Ogunbowale are the two featured players. They're going to battle not only for Player of the Year in the conference, but Player of the Year in the country. Those two are just elite scorers. We had Asia Durr in Louisville against Connecticut, and she was terrific.
After a slow start, I think she put up 24 on UConn in a huge win at the Yum Center for Louisville. That shot rejected out of bounds. Another blocked shot for Brianna Turner. The lead is 24. Really impressive performance so far for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, currently a number 2 seed overall and ranked number 4. Last out of the quarter is on the way. And once again, all Notre Dame extending their 14-point halftime lead to a big one here after 3, 74-50 here in South Bend. More college basketball coming your way later this afternoon. Tennessee at number 6, Mississippi State. And then Oregon visits the Stanford Cardinal. That's at 4 Eastern time on ESPN2. Then another really interesting game coming up tomorrow. What has UConn got in store? Currently ranked number 5 at home, taking on number 12 South Carolina. And at halftime of that game over on ESPN2 for South Carolina and UConn, the top 16 will be revealed by the selection committee. Jackie Young on the floor, Prohaska in the corner. And just underway here in the 4th. Inside to Shepard through traffic, up under the iron, and coming quickly out of the backcourt is Florida State's Morgan Jones, the 6'2 freshman out of Georgia, lays the ball up and in. Prohaska, wide open 15-footer. Florida State currently won't be any longer after this one, tied at 8-2 with Notre Dame for second place. 4 teams at 8-2 in the conference. Louisville currently on top at 9-1. Louisville Cardinal, their only loss was to Notre Dame. Notre Dame currently a number 2 seed. Let's take a look at the top couple of lines. A lot could happen. Conference tournaments coming your way. Notre Dame could move up. You know, UConn was down on the number 2 line. What do you think of this group and where they might be going?
Well, there's certain games that are very important as it relates to the number 1 and number 2 seeds. One is today, Stanford and Oregon. Okay, Louisville and Notre Dame, should they both advance to the ACC final, that would be an important game. And then I think tomorrow's game, South Carolina at UConn, is very important for the Huskies. It's important for both teams, but I think it's very important relative to seeding for UConn, because after January 1, we knew that UConn had 3 opportunities to play top teams in the non-conference. And that was at Baylor, at Louisville, and home against South Carolina. And they're 0 for 2 in those meetings. And so I think from a big picture seeding standpoint, to get that number 1 seed, tomorrow's game is very important for UConn. Otherwise, I think they might need to rely on some help from some of those other teams on the list.
There you see the ACC standings to go along with their respective potential seeding in Charlie Cream's bracketology. And you look at Florida State, he has them as a 4 seed. That's an opportunity to host. That's gold.
Yeah,
that
is
really, really valuable, particularly if you're on the bubble, so to speak, with respect to where you're going to play your first couple of rounds.
It's very important in the women's game, yes. And the top 16 seeds, so the 1 through 4 seeds, host first and second round games at their campus arenas, and that is a big time advantage. I mean, you talk about the difference between being a 4 and a 5 seed in this tournament. I mean, it makes a difference.
And South Carolina has probably exceeded just about everybody. Have they exceeded your expectations going into the season?
Well, you knew that there would be some growing pains for South Carolina because of what they lost. Look at what they lost.
Yeah.
They lost Asia Wilson, okay? It's one of the best players in women's college basketball. And they've had to kind of adjust how they played as well. They didn't have the tremendous size, okay, and the player that everyone could build around. And you know, that's been a challenge. But they have a great deal of talent. Their guards are tough to defend, and I think this is going to be a good game tomorrow night in Hartford. South Carolina at UConn at 7 on ESPN2. I think it's going to be a really good game.
And look at South Carolina, exactly to your point. They played a very difficult schedule, make no doubt about it. They started 4-4, 13-1 since. Some quality wins. They've got good guard play with Taya Cooper and Ty Harris, and really getting solid frontline play as well. A little bit of full court pressure applied by Kamu, and Florida State trailing with 7:24 remaining, 78-56. When you look at the numbers, there's no question that, well, look, you get a #1 seed because you're a really good team. That, for one thing, improves your odds of advancing in the tournament and having success. But you look at it and break it down, the #1s and #2s are right there in terms of the percentages of success. 28 titles by #1 seeds, but they were 1 seeds for a reason. They were darn good. Myers trying to take the ball inside as we approach the 7-minute mark here in the fourth. It's been all Notre Dame after the opening quarter. They have really shut down Florida State. Shot clock at 7. Step back jumper that rattles in and out. Shepard after the rebound, but Myers is there to get it. It's a wild miss, and Gillespie, who was really good early, Kaya Gillespie, 5th leading scorer in the ACC, but she, like the rest of her teammates, turned cold on what is a chilly afternoon here in South Bend. Nice high-low again. Boy, Notre Dame worked on that all day yesterday at practice. Shepard now with 24. Gumbawali, her day is most likely done, although she's still on the floor here with 6 minutes and 15 seconds remaining with 27. Shepard getting after that one, and a kicked ball is called. Got a big Monday doubleheader coming your way. First at 7 Eastern, #3 Virginia travels to Chapel Hill to take on #8 North Carolina. Then #13 Kansas takes on TCU. Both games are live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Kara Lawson on Paul Sunderland. #4 Notre Dame with a big advantage here, taking down #24 Florida State inside of 6 minutes remaining, and Notre Dame leading at 80-58. Coming up next, Tennessee at Mississippi State, followed by Oregon at Stanford, as Naja Woolfolk picks up her 5th personal foul and is finished for the afternoon. Yeah, this is going to be a busy building on ESPNU coming up at 6 Eastern time tonight. Notre Dame men will take on Georgia Tech.
Florida State 8-2 coming in. You can say a little bit of a surprise. Sue Semrau and her staff have done a terrific job. Had some injuries to key players before the season even started, and to be sitting coming into this game at 8-2, I think is a great spot to be in. And there's, the ACC is so tough. I mean, the job Katie Meyer's done at Miami this year, the job Wes Moore has done in the face of a lot of injuries down at NC State. Now his schedule is backloaded, and we'll see with the Wolfpack if they're able to maintain that hot start that they had. They were the last remaining undefeated team in the country down in Raleigh.
Yeah, they've dropped a couple, and again been hit by that injury bug, and they still have Notre Dame and Louisville to play. Turner is fouled inside. She's got 9 points and 5 block shots so far on the afternoon. But speaking about Florida State, Sue Semrau and the job that she and her staff have done, they lost all 5 starters from last year, including the likes of Shaq Thomas and Amani Wright, A.J. Alex. And then her associate head coach, Lance White, who'd been with her for years, took the head job at Pittsburgh. And then Isabella Nicoletti, 5-star recruit out of Brazil, Sao Paulo specifically, who played her last 3 years of high school basketball in Raleigh, North Carolina. McDonald's All-American, tore her ACL before the season even started. So Sue Semrau and her staff have really done a magnificent job. And right now, Charlie Cream has them hosting the first round. Sue Semrau and I were joking yesterday. We got to get 3 more wins to get into the tournament. I said, Coach, you're in, relax. But that's a coach's life. Inside of 5 minutes remaining, down inside to Turner again, right at the front of the rim. 13 now for Brianna Turner. selection committee's going to have a really challenging job this year, aren't they? Boy, there's a lot of depth.
There's a lot of depth, and you know, I'm sitting here thinking about the ACC tournament and how much fun that's going to be. I mean, we just talked about a bunch of different teams. How about North Carolina and the stretch that they've had recently? What a shot!
That one thrown up and in. Nikki Akamu coming off a really nice game with 20 points at the win over North Carolina State, coming right back this afternoon with 24. Just too much inside for Notre Dame. Jessica Shepard now with 26. Talked about North Carolina. Paris Key had a really big game when North Carolina beat Notre Dame down at Chapel Hill. We'll step aside. 3:47 left in this one, but a full day of women's college basketball still coming your way. Notre Dame leading it 88-64. Everybody's having fun here today at Purcell Pavilion at the Joyce Center, the beautiful campus of Notre Dame University. A big performance by the Fighting Irish, currently ranked number 4, 21-3 overall. They'll improve to 19-2 in conference, and a very, very impressive performance by the University of Notre Dame after losing at Miami on Thursday night. Pull-up jump shot by Jackie Young. Ogunbowale and Shepard leading the way. Ogunbowale with 27, Shepard with 26. Jackie Young now with 8. A really, really solid performance by Notre Dame. And it was interesting talking to some of the players at practice yesterday. As you might expect, they were less than thrilled with their performance at Miami, and they held a meeting and talked about what needed to be done. And Jessica Shepard told me, she said, look, every player has got to give a little bit more if we want to get back to the championship or a possibility thereof. 2:45 left in this one. Notre Dame leading at 90-66.
Well, there's no question that they have the talent and the experience to be able to win it again. I don't think there's any question in my mind about that.
We'll step aside one more time here in South Bend. The Fighting Irish commanding lead over the Seminoles. Score once again by the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Jessica Cosgrove, number 22 and wide, on the floor now for Notre Dame. Players getting into it at the other end. Danielle Patterson, the 6'2 sophomore out of Brooklyn, New York, wearing number 33 in white. Got tied up underneath at the other end with Valencia Myers of Florida State. Myers picks up her 4th personal foul.
To the line of the Fighting Irish, number 33, Danielle Patterson.
Notre Dame's upcoming schedule: at Boston College, at North Carolina State, then Duke, and then at Syracuse, Virginia, and then the ACC tournament. First free throw up and good for Patterson. Looking at the upcoming schedule for Florida State: at Clemson, a team that was really, really hot early, then taking on Pittsburgh at home, and then at Miami and Syracuse at home, and then at Georgia Tech. Both of these certainly, well, to state the obvious, tournament teams. Question as to whether or not Notre Dame will be a 1 or a 2, and a question whether or not Florida State will have the opportunity to host the first couple of rounds.
To the line of the Seminoles, number 12, Nikki Akamu.
Free throw up and good. Be sure and tune in to SportsCenter tonight at 10 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app with John Anderson and Steve Levy. They'll have highlights and reactions from LeBron and the Lakers taking on the new-look 76ers. Plus, Tom Rinaldi reveals the KD behind the headlines and how will the Cowboys answer some of their biggest contract questions this offseason at SportsCenter tonight at 10 Eastern on ESPN. That shot off the back of the iron by Cosgrove. 1:40 left in this one. Such an experienced squad for Notre Dame. They responded beautifully. It was interesting talking to Florida State head coach Sue Semrau going into ACC play. Cosgrove thought about it on the run out, but getting back to that point, Prohaska with a 15-footer. Sue Semrau telling us that her entire roster had 70 ACC starts, and Notre Dame had over 400. A little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, a little bit of an advantage, but you know, you look at the landscape of this conference, and Notre Dame and Louisville obviously are the top two teams, but nationally, but you look at NC State, you look at Miami, you look at some of the young talent that's in the ACC. Syracuse has had a fantastic year.
And the talent here on Florida State, really like the performance of Nicky Akamu, who's had a wonderful afternoon with 26 points. Gillespie started out very quickly and is sitting on 17 as time is winding down on this one. Foul was called down inside on Myers, who has fouled out. It'll be free throws come to Nixon. This one was never in doubt. It was 39-33, and then Arike Ngumbuwale caught fire and led a 10-0 run for Notre Dame. They went out to a 14-point lead. Florida State could never get their footing once again in the second half. They trailed by 24 after 3. And a really, really solid performance by the 4th-ranked Fighting Irish. The run continues for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. 56 consecutive conference wins, including 46 of those in the ACC. And as you mentioned, Kara, a quality conference, and nobody has been able to beat the Fighting Irish on their home floor. Once again, the final, Notre Dame over Florida State, 97-70. Coming up next on ESPN, it's women's basketball. Tennessee takes on number 6 Mississippi State. For Kara Lawson, I'm Paul Sunderland. Let's take it for now to the studio. Oh, thank you.